Hey guys, ILene Vick here for Adult Coloring with ILene Vick, and I'm going to finish up the odds and ends on Enchanted Forest. Basically, I'm going to get the background. I'm going to show you how to do the background. I'll start it and then you can finish it. Same with the grass. Also going to go ahead and color up the lanterns with some light around the outside and do a little bit on the rocks, show you a little effect with that I think you'll like. Okay, so first and foremost, thank you for all your support, appreciate it. Secondly, dealing with a little bit of allergies, ears are stuffed, so if I sound a little funny, that's why. But that's okay, we soldier on. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and work on this lantern first of all. Let's get you pulled in. Get that light away. I hope everybody's doing well on this Friday. I had a really good day, thank you. Started out with a dead battery. I wasn't saying that sarcastically. I did have a good day. And we have a really good local police department. I live actually in Allgood, Tennessee, which is right next to Cookeville. Now, even though my postal address is Cookeville, but I actually live in Allgood, which is a small community on its own. We have our own police department and fire department and that sort of thing. And those guys were great. Gave them a call. They popped over, jumped my car for me. Everything went well. Went to the doctor's, pick up a prescription. They closed at 4 p.m. I got there at 4:03 p.m. They still let me in, got my prescriptions. Then I went to Sam's, got all the stuff I needed there. Then I popped over to Walmart and got the rest of my prescriptions. I don't take that many, I take 3. Whoopee, which is good actually, that's a blessing. So all in all, good day. All right, so let's go ahead and work on that lantern a little bit. And let me adjust something here for you. There we go. Okay. So what I'm going to end up doing, I'm going to work on getting this area gold. And then I want to get a nice little area here on the outside. Let me get my pencils wound up and ready to go. Yeah, I feel really good. Okay, so I'm going to grab my circle template. I think I've shown this to you before, got it off of Amazon. It's always handy to have. You never know, you know, what you're going to be doing with various stuff. Let's see here. Yeah, I would say that that's a good outline right here. So I'm going to take my yellow pencil and I'm going to very, very gently draw my line here. Yeah, you can see that. Let me check something here. Yeah, I think that's good. Let me see something here. Actually, I'm going to move that puppy down a little, just a little bit. Excuse me. So I'm going to go with a slightly bigger circle, and I'm just very lightly drawing that line because I want a little bit of that light on the bottom. And as always, I hope everybody's doing well. Like I said, I'm feeling particularly good. All right, let me grab my paper towel. Now, what I like to do is I like to add a little bit of a light halo to the lamps. So I'm using my Fila color 016. And just very lightly getting that color in there. Do, do, do. Okay, let me do something here. I want to lighten that up just a little bit. And I'm also erasing, I'm deliberately erasing that line that I drew in with my pencil because I was just using it as a guide, and I want to diffuse this light. So I don't want to ring around the outside. Now you can see that line right there that I drew, so I'm gonna color this in and then erase that line. And please don't forget to go over to community. This is where we can talk back and forth and communicate about things that you like and don't like. Also, don't forget that I'm taking suggestions on what you'd like me to color. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and bring that yellow inside of my lantern. And if you think you've gotten a little heavy-handed with the yellow around the outside, just go ahead and hit that with your eraser. Because it can be a blessing and a curse, but the really nice thing about colored pencil is when you erase, all of it doesn't go away 100%. You know, you still have a little bit telltale. So in this case, this is a good thing. Oh my. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure that I've just got a very, very light halo. All right. Now, the light source obviously is the candle. So I'm going to go ahead and darken that inside the lantern. Do, do, do. And I'm hanging more near the top than I am the bottom. Okay, even inside the lantern. Now, when I bring my yellow out, I'm going to go ahead and have just a tad darker next to the lantern itself. And then I'm going to have that fade out to very, very light. So this is where, you know, I always tell you guys that when you put your colors down, start out lightly, and this is an excellent reason why. because then you can go back in, gosh, and tweak. And I'm just working in little circles, and the majority of my tweaking is basically near the top half, okay, because that's where my light is, and then just having it fade out to be very light. Now, even though I stop my circle here, I can go ahead and pull that out even a little further if you want. Up to you. Now, some people, when they've done this, they've like just done the circle, done the circle around the lantern, which is fine. But I want to go a little more realistic, and that's why I've got this light yellow coming out as far as I have it. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my orange and my red. This is going to be interesting to see if I can pull this off. Have faith, have faith. Love that lantern so far. Okay. Well, I had a nice sharp orange, and then I tried to sharpen it with a full sharpener. I don't know if you've ever noticed, maybe it's just me, but have you ever noticed when you have one of those sharpeners that has a little container that when it fills up, then it doesn't sharpen as well? I don't know why that is. Isn't that weird? So I empty it and I resharpen, and we're good to go. Okay. So I'm going to take, and I'm going to pull you in, see if I can get you really, yeah, really close. And then you can see if I bobble this or not. Okay, so I'm going to take my orange, and I'm just going to just kind of go at the bottom and up the side a tad. And then I'm going to take my scarlet and just make sure you don't do like half red and half orange. Whoops, gotta get that shaving off. Half orange and half red. So I did my red and then I came over just a little bit. So see, I've got red and orange on that, which makes it look pretty cool. All right, so then I'm going to take my orange, and I'm just going to very lightly, and I'm just going to skip around here. I'm not going to do it as a solid line all the way around, and I'm just going to bring that out just a little bit here. See how I'm doing that? Now, if you've never done this before, okay, now I got a little bit of the red. have to blend that. I hit a rough spot. And don't wig out on me because it looks complex. It's not. It truly isn't. Okay. Now in close-up, see where those two lines are on the sides? So I'm going to go ahead and hit that with my blender pencil just very lightly. See if we can get rid of that. Yeah. And then I'm going to go out in a spiral direction when I blend. There we go. And if you want, you can hit that with a little more red. Totally up to you. But just go out in a splay pattern, if that makes sense. Oh yeah. It's so funny, I'm using my viewfinder now to see the detail of this rather than just looking at, you know, straight on here. Okay, now don't get too wonky with it. You know I like to fuss and fiddle with it when I do stuff. So I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. Said no one ever. Okay. So great. That's how we do a little lantern now with the candle. Here we go. Okay, so now I'm going to work on doing the lantern in gold. Now, I have a nice creamy yellow, the Fila, and that is 014 creamy yellow. And if you want, I mean, I could have gone out and done that outside yellow with that. I just decided to lighten up with the first yellow that I had. And don't let your circle get unbalanced. See how I'm poofed out here and poofed out here, but a little flat here. So just make sure that we get that. So basically, I'm getting that lighter yellow either by easing up on that first yellow pencil that I had, or by going ahead and picking up a ridiculously light pencil, yellow, and going ahead and adding that light. Let me bring this out on the bottom just a little more. Nothing exotic about this, and it looks terrific. Here, let me pull you out. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and do the lantern itself. And don't forget, I've got another one down here, but that one's not lit. So I'm going to do this one, and that'll help you also do that second one. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and see, this is kind of a small spot, but I want to get that gold in there. All right. So the lantern itself, I want it to be gold. So I'm using, again, the Polychromos 943, which is my burnt ochre. And that color, by the way, you know, you'll hear a lot of us colorists talk about it. It really is a nice basic brown. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do, and if you remember in my last video, I was showing you some gold that I was coloring. You guys need to let me know I'm reaching for something. That's why that's out of camera now. You remember I was doing these little gold wheels and asking you if you wanted me to do a video on something like that. Either way, that's fine. I'll always show you how to do it anyway. Okay, so now I'm going to take my ochre and color in this brown. And you don't want to go in too far with it, because we've got other colors we need to add. And then I'm taking my Prismacolor Polychromos 942. I showed you these colors before, the yellow ochre. And I'm going to blend that to there. You can already see how goldy that looks. Isn't that cool? And now I'm going to, now I'm running out of room, but that's all right. I'm going to hit this with just a little bit of yellow. And I'm going to try and keep some white in the center there. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Ladies and gentlemen, we have gold. In a confined space, even. Am I good or am I good? All right. You can tell I'm feeling good today. Told you I was. Okay. So let me show you again on the top. Now I've even got less room, so let's see if we can pull this off. All right. So it's the ochre. Teeny tiny amount. Teeny, teeny, teeny. I gotta sharpen my pencil, hold on. Hopefully I can pull this off. Okay, and now I'm going to use my yellow ochre. Oh man, I don't have much room at all. And then I'm going to use my bright yellow, which is my lemon yellow, my PC 915. And by the way, that yellow ochre was PC 942. I showed you that, but I always like to repeat. So now I'm going to pull in a little bit of yellow. Voila, we have gold again. Now that light spot looks a little wonky because it's coming down this way. So I'm just going to close that off just a tad. Yeah, there we go. And I'm going to darken the edge. And I'm going to darken this edge because that's really going to make it look cool. Oh man, that looks good. There you go. In close-up, no less. Okay, so I'm going to sharpen my pencil. My burnt ochre. And I'm just going to go ahead now and with my burnt ochre, which is my PC 943, which is my first brown, is I'm going to go ahead and just color the base. Okay. And I want that to be a good healthy brown. So notice how I'm repeating strokes. And that teeny tiny space is a little dicey to get into, so I need to erase that brown that got there. There we go. That's what's really neat, and I've said this before, is when you layer one color on another, it's usually pretty easy to erase that second color. Now, I've lost a little bit of my yellow, so I'm going to pop in with that again and just gently, real gently fix that. My really pale yellow, which was my creamy yellow. There we go. Okay, and I got to get a better point on that ochre because I don't want to fight that all the way around. But look how cool that gold looks, guys. All right. And can you do this in a heartbeat? All right, so let me get that brown done. And don't worry about the gold, because what I'm going to do, I've heard back from a number of you, is I'm going to find a coloring that has a larger space on it that would be conducive to coloring gold. And I'm going to show you how to do that. You saw how quick and easy it went here. Basically, all you do is you take your burnt ochre, your PC 943, and color in the edge just a little bit, right? And then you want to take your yellow ochre, which is the PC 942, and color on top of that towards the center, okay? And then you want to take your PC 915, which is the cream yellow, and color on top of that, and leave a little white spot in the center. Okay, that's all it is, guys. Draw a small rectangle and color on that. Like I said, I'm going to do a piece where I'm doing gold stuff and you can see it. That looks good. Here, let me show you something. And I showed you this in my other video, but I get new subscribers all the time, so I never assume that you guys have all seen it. See, this is what I did when I was fooling around with this. Here's your darkest ochre, and then your lighter, and then lighter, and then you want that little white streak in the center if you can get it. See, when you color that, I may have to do this with a white pencil because, yeah, there we go. Yeah. See, I'm just doing that real quick just to show you. But see how cool that looks? Okay. Okay, let's get back to the subject at hand here. And you know that I like to color in macro color for you. Macro view, excuse me. I want you to see exactly what I'm doing. I hope you like that. Okay. And I'm going to pull out. Let's see here. Now, on that cord where the lantern is hanging, I could just go ahead and do that all in one color, but I just think it's so much better just to, you know, work with different colors. So I'm going to come down on go down the right, go over to the left, come back to the right, okay? And then I'm going to use a Fila 039, which is a very dark brown. See? And I'm going to very carefully, and I'm in as close as I can get now, is I'm just going to put a little dark here to the right where I went to the left before, then to the left where I went to the right. See how I'm getting a multicolored piece of rope there? Now, in the scheme of things, do you have to do this? No. But you know what? If you're going to spend all the time coloring that you are, why not take care of these little details, okay? So I just went right, left, right with my lighter brown. Then I went left, right, left with my darker brown and made a neat little cord. Okay, so now I've got the candle to do. And again, it's just a wonky little candle, you know, but hey, we want to pay attention to detail, right? So I'm going to color all of it in a very light purple. My pencil doesn't like this sharpener. Oh, I love this lantern. I think it turned out cool. All right, so I'm going to make the left side, doggone it, change sharpeners. If your pencils keep breaking, guys, it could be your sharpener. Okay, so with my lightest purple, I'm going to go a little bit darker on the left just to make visual interest. And then I'm going to take my deep purple. Oh no, Eileen, don't sing that song. Smoke on the water, fire in the sky. Yeah. And I'm going to take my deep purple and I'm going to sharpen it to a really sharp point. And then I'm going to very lightly Very lightly. Put that little purple on there. Isn't that cool? All right. So I would encourage you to sweat the details, because that's what's going to make your piece look great. All right, so I'm going to take my blender pencil and, like, really carefully, I'm going to blend first on the light and then on the dark. And you guys better tell me to quit fussing with it, because again, you know me. All right, so let me pull you out, and voila. Nice little lantern with the fire in it, with the gold. Look how great that gold turned out. Okay, 2 more things I have to show you. I'm going to do the sky, and then I'm going to do, and then, you know, just a part of it, and then I'm going to do the grass. So give me a second here. All right, so since I've been working with purples, oh, and the mushroom, see those dots on there? That's my Posca paint. Now, they blobbed a little bit, that was me. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go over them again with my Posca. See how that red came through? So that's okay. I'm just going to, you know, bop it one more time. But I went ahead and put my little dots on there because I thought that would look cool. And don't forget that I drew in my circles on my other mushrooms. That's why, because I wanted to do this. Alrighty, so let's attack the sky. Let me put my pencils up. Now, let me show you something really quick. Also, I have what I call my WIP jar. And what I do is, you know, WIP, work in progress, is any pencil that I'm using for a particular project like this, I pop it in here. Whether, you know, shorty or not. That's my ochre, isn't it? No, that's my burnt ombre. Okay. So what I do is I just pop my WIPs in my can, because otherwise they spread all over the place, and then when I go to show you guys something, I look like a dithering idiot because I can't find my pencils. So it's just a way to keep track of them. All right, let's do some sky, let's do some ground, and then I'll be out of here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my eyeshadow palette. So again, for new people, doesn't have to be expensive. I got this on Amazon when it was on sale. BH Cosmetics, 120 colors. Now, if you go with BH Cosmetics, just be aware that they sell different palette combinations. So you want the ones that don't have the wonky colors. You want just straight colors. The other thing is, because see, I'm going to do the sky and the grass with these, is you don't want cream, you want powder. So be aware of that. Beautiful, beautiful colors. I've made several videos using eyeshadow to color with. So you'll just have to look in all my videos and just see. Okay, so I'm going to do my sky a very light purple. So let me get a piece of paper because I want to swatch the colors. I'm going to get a very light purple. So, and I got to count which one I'm using because I'll forget. Okay, 4th one up. Okay, yeah. See how I'm blending that with my finger? that's how I'm going to do the sky. Now, if you want to add highlights to when you're doing the sky like that, then you just get a darker color and add that, okay? So now we've got two colors going on here. Now, I'm using my fingers, which is fine. You can use cotton ball, you can use Q-tip. It doesn't matter. But I'm going to go ahead and use that fourth one up because it's a nice light purple. Let me check this one. Ooh, that one's a nice too. Okay, that's third up from the bottom. All right, fourth one up. Okay, this one's a little more pinkish. This is more purple. So I'm gonna go with the more purple, I think. All right, so let me show you what I'm doing. Now, I don't mind getting my fingers dirty. If you do, that's fine. You know, just use something else. But hey, we're artists, you know. This stuff will rinse off basically pretty much with water. Not a biggie. Okay, so using that third purple, I am going to start coloring in my background. Okay, let me get some paper here. And the neat thing about eyeshadow is that it goes on in such a way that it's not a monotone color. In other words, see, you can see it in the camera. There's a variance of color here, or lightness, and that's what I want, okay? Look how cool that looks. And if you get on top of your mushrooms, don't worry about it, because this stuff erases. Look at that. It erases a lot easier than colored pencils do. So we're good to go from that standpoint. All right, so let me fix that gap now. Now, obviously, I want to avoid as much as I can getting it on my flowers. In other words, I'm not just gonna, you know, color over that. But like I said, if you get it on it, so what? No biggie. Pretty. Now, in these little areas here, let me grab my Q-tips. Now, I buy two kinds of Q-tips. You can buy dual tip Q-tips, which have their eye makeup applicators. And one has a flat side, one has a pointy side, okay? I'm not gonna use those, I'm just gonna use the normal Q-tip. So I'm gonna get my Q-tip here and get into my eyeshadow. And now I'm just going to get in between these mushrooms. And you'd be surprised how detailed you can get. Look at that, isn't that neat? And I wish you could see this. I didn't ink that. Did I ink that? I gotta check that. I think I did. See, I got in behind that, around that mushroom pretty well. Look at that. And I'm deliberately letting it get a little heavier around the mushrooms because it's, you know, a closed in area. See? And again, don't worry about getting eyeshadow on your main piece, you know, on the drawing, because as I said, it's really easy to erase, unlike colored pencils. Okay, so now I'm just gonna hit that with my finger real quick, just to kind of smooth it out. Okay, now if you want to do something a little different, okay, so I've got a darker purple. I'm just going to show you this. You don't have to do it, it's just a suggestion, or an idea, I mean, is look, see how I've got this darker purple? And I can go ahead and blend that in just for visual reasons. See? So it just adds a little color interest to the whole thing. And what I'm going to do is I'll go around with my purple all the way around here. To make that beautiful, beautiful background. Isn't that cool? Let me pull you out. See, now I've got some nice sky. And this is where then you start looking at the thing overall and just see where you want to make your adjustments. And if you want to go a little darker in an area, you can do that, okay? So let's say I want to add just a little more here between the mushrooms. We're good to go. And then just smooth it out, okay? You don't want it to look streaky. Now, I'm doing this a little bit quickly. I'll fine tune it later, but I just wanted to show you the general idea of doing this. So like I said, you can add another shade of whatever color you're doing this. I could have put a pink in there if I wanted to and just blended that together. And then just make sure that your eyeshadow goes right up to the edges of where you're putting in your background. Now, let me show you this real quick. So see, I've got eyeshadow on this mushroom. 2 seconds, look at that. There we go. Gone. And then what'll happen is, when I'm done with this whole shebang, I'm going to go ahead and put my Krylon fixative. What it is it protects your drawings, prevents the smudging of everything that you've done, and by being workable, it means you can also go ahead and continue to do, you know, like corrections and coloring on it, but of course you want to be as done as possible. So it's Krylon. Be sure you get workable fixative. I got this off of Amazon, no, Hobby Lobby for $8.99. And then I got one off of Amazon for whatever cost that was. But look how pretty that looks. Okay. So let me brush that. Oh, wait a minute. So remember when I did the little lantern thingy? All right, so let me do my coloring around that. My purple around that. Okay, so I'm going to bring this around, and I'm just going to work my purple up to that edge, okay? Now see, I got a little spot right there that needs purple, so I can either use my Q-tip or I can use that makeup applicator that's got that really sharp point. I'm just going to go ahead and use my Q-tip because I'm just going to erase anything that gets on top of it. And I'll tell you guys, when you use eyeshadow like this and you've got 120 colors, oh man, you can just go to town with this stuff. Okay, I gotta quit doing this around. I gotta stick to what I'm doing here. Okay, so I'm gonna come down here and then I'm gonna come over here, okay? And no, I'm not pulling my cat's tail. She's bringing me a little toy and she meows when she does that. Okay, so you see how I kind of flattened out my yellow right there? So I'm just going to go ahead and carefully erase off the eyeshadow that got on top of the pencil, because that needs to be rounded, right? And if there's any problem with it, just grab your yellow pencil and then go ahead and fix it. Okay. All right, so let me pull out. And you can see how nice that looks. Now, I know on the camera it looks a little blotchy. Trust me, it's not. It's blending in beautifully. And as when I get off camera, I'm gonna go ahead and smooth all this out and then make sure I don't have any little blotchies on there, okay? It'll look really pretty when it's done. Okay, now, having done the sky, I'm going to do the grass area. Same general concept here. So let me get this. Okay. Now I'm going to be using 2 greens. So here's my palette. These are the greens that I'm going to be messing around with here. So I'm going to put my little thingy back there and pick this up and put that there. Okay. And move that sideways. All right. So what I'm going to do, and I'll swatch a couple of colors for you, is I'm going to use a very light green. Just got to pick one here. Okay, and I'm going to be using a slightly darker green. Let me pull you out just a little bit so you can see those color differences. Okay, I think I like that one. All right, so I picked my colors. I'm going to go with a very light green, and then I'm going to go with this more grassy green. So I've got 2 things now that I'm going to do here. And it's going to go over this ladder. I'm not too worried about that. I'll just gently pencil that in with a nice gray, probably a very light gray for a shadow. So I'm going to start with my light green. Got my finger stuck in it there, just stuck it in there. And I'm going to go ahead and do a base color with this light green. Now I'm going to stay outside of the candle. Let me think this through. No, I'm not. I'm going to use the other side of my Q-tip and my very light green and color in there because we're seeing through this, right? And there's no flame in there, so I'm not casting a flame, right? Okay. So I'm going ahead, I'm not going to worry about my rocks being covered up because I can go ahead and erase that like I showed you. Oh, that's turning out really great too. Okay. Bring my green to up about there. Okay, now I'm going to use my darker green, which is my grassy green, and I'm going to, in different places, put that green on the ground. Okay, so I left a spot. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and do the whole bottom in green so I can show you how to put that darker green on. So let me finish that real quick. And I hope you can see how cool this is looking. Now, I'm not going to put any light green up near the top, because that way when I put my darker green, it'll be darker because it's not on top of the lighter green, right? It was okay to do it over here, but now I want to do something a little different. And don't worry if your green varies in shade, because grass does vary, and all the better for your piece, right? Okay, so now I'm going to use my darker green. Sorry, I got to turn that again. And let's see, so I had darker green here, here, here. So I'll pop a little there. And some right there. Just smudge it in. Oh yeah. Look how cool that looks. Now, if you want to take some of your darker green and, you know, put it down here in little areas, that's fine. Yeah, just don't get too crazy with it, because you want that light and that dark green to appear. All right, let me put my eyeshadows away, because as I always say, if I don't, my elbow or something's gonna end up in it. All right. And when I go to put my fixative on this, it's gonna look really sweet. All right, so let me pull you out. I'm just gonna do one more thing with the rocks, and then we're done. What do you think? Isn't that cool? And again, don't let those purple blotches throw you. I'll take care of that, okay? You just want to even out your eyeshadow when you put it on. Okay. And my brush, I just had it. Whew. All right, so there that is. All right, one quick thing with the stones, and then we're good to go. I've colored all the major pieces. I've shown you the mushrooms. You can finish the little leaves yourself. Yeah, and see that ladder shadows is showing up great, so I'm not even worried about that. I may throw a little more gray on that. Okay. One last thing and then I'm out of here. So I'm going to take my mechanical pencil. That was the pencil I used to lay down the initial lines. Now I want you to watch this. And now you really want to be using your paper towel because of all this eyeshadow. All right, so what you're going to do is we're going to make some 3D stones. Okay, see how I'm coloring that edge? You want to make a backwards C. Very, very light gray. Look at that. Pops right out at you. Isn't that cool? Now I'm showing you the micro view, which looks rough, but when you pull it out and look at it normal view, look at that. So all you're doing with that is you're making a backwards C, because that's your shadow, right? Now what you want to do, and I did it here because I really didn't have too much eyeshadow on it, is, you know, this is covered in green, so I got to erase that and then I'll put the C back on there. But I just wanted to show you how to make your 3D rounded stones. Isn't that cool? There's some on here that I drew, some that were already on there. Let's see, here's a set right here. And I'm barely touching this with my pencil. This lead is very, very soft. Now, these guys are going to get teeny tiny, so it's going to be really hard to do them. Oh, I got that one. Cool. Don't forget, color your grass in 2 or 3 colors like I showed you. When I did the original over here, I had a dark, medium, and a light, and then I just used the medium and light. All right, so let me pull out. I'm done. So I've shown you the portions on how to do this. Look at that. Is that not beautiful? I'm happy with it. I like it. And I really hope you learned something. And I will be doing a future video on helping you with that gold. That's not a problem at all. I showed you the steps on this one, but I'll get into more detail on something else. Okay. I think I'm done. Now, what I'm going to do is, after I upload this video, I'm going to go either tonight or tomorrow to my Adult Coloring with ILene Vick on Facebook, and I'm going to live color this. And you can tag along and talk to me and the whole bit. If you miss it, it'll save as a video, and then you can go ahead and watch the video. So that's Adult Coloring with ILene Vick on Facebook. Join that group. That's where I post my finished stuff and where I just do my coloring. And sometimes I color projects that I'm not posting to Facebook because it's just coloring. So I talk to people. You can ask questions. I'll teach if you want, whatever you want. Okie dokie. I hope you like what you're seeing. I hope you're happy with everything. Oh, and when you go to do your grass or and especially your, I'll get this, your candle lantern is, you know, just erase, of course, on the lantern itself, and then you can go ahead and do your gold like I showed you. All right, guys, this is ILene Vick for Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. I hope you learned something. More importantly, I hope you had fun. I had fun. Joyous, joyous coloring. God bless you all. Stay safe. If you have any questions, contact me. Leave a comment. I will reply. Whatever you need. And don't forget, I will also do custom coloring. All right, guys, that's it. Take care. Bye.